Hey guys, Dave with Moniology. Hope everyone is having a great Christmas day. Today is the 25th of December 2017, and we're going to do a special uranium sector review on this Christmas day. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate. So taking a look at the URA chart, and all these charts for those of you who are new to our videos are from a weekly standpoint, which means that if you're a day trader and like to get in and out of stocks on a short-term basis, then these charts are not necessarily for you, aside from just getting a perspective on what's going on in the overall trend. Why we use weekly charts is they allow us to get a better long-term perspective, and since we're swing traders and frankly value investors, we like to get into trades and investments that are great for the long run as well as the short term. So let's take a look at the global uranium ETF URA and see what's going on here. So what we're seeing here is that we broke out of this downtrend. We've consolidated for a while. We had this really nice move after we had a fake breakdown here below 1250, and then we rallied all the way, almost tapped this 1750 resistance level. Kind of broke down as we tagged the upper Bollinger Band. But what the most important thing for me is not price, but momentum. And what I see in momentum is a higher high created, and that's very important. That's telling, it's suggesting that we will indeed see higher highs, likely certainly testing 1750 in the near term, but the question is, will we break out higher? We think the probability is absolutely. I mean, notice here we had this massive run in the start of 2017 and very big volume. We're starting to do the same thing as well here, and we think this move is just beginning. And once this breakout takes place above 1750, for the long-term traders and investors, that's the sign that you want to get in long, because this will be a multi-year move to the upside. Now, it's important in the short term that this 1525 level holds. This was I would say 15 to 1525. This level was basically resistance a couple times here and here and here and here and here and here, and so this level is very crucial. If it does not hold, then this 50-week EMA around 14, which is kind of curling up side with the middle Bollinger Band, will serve as support. And ultimately we think it's going to go much higher, but for the bull case to be strong, you want this to move back above that 60 to 61 level on the RSI, which is a really crucial point. Now I wanted to go through some of the names in the sector and just kind of go through them individually and see whether the names are strong, how they're doing, and ultimately let's take a look at what's happening there. So starting with, and these are in no particular order here, so let's start with Cameco, which is the leader in the space. And you see here that we had this breakout out of this falling wedge pattern here, and now we rallied. We tested this 11 mark, which was our first price target, and now we've retraced all the way back to that breakout point. I expect this line to hold, and when it does, I expect things to move higher. Now, there is also a possibility that momentum, because we did break below the 50 level on the RSI, if it cannot recapture that and head back higher as early as next week, it's very possible that it retests this downtrend on RSI from the upside. If that's the case, then we might see some additional downside, possibly to as low as 9, possibly shake out a few weekends lower as well. But ultimately, we think that the uptrend has begun, and so you want to be long this name if you're not, and you want to be looking at opportunities to go long if you're not long it already. Now Denison, this one is also a very good looking chart. It's starting to consolidate right below that 60 level, which was our first price target. We called it around the 45 level here. And now you've got the 50 EMA moving, curling up. You've got the middle Bollinger Band curling up. So there's a lot of support. And there's no surprise that right now we're kind of facing resistance here. Resistance is at the same point that we basically broke down here from that, I'd say about 80 cent level last time around. So now this price point is resistance, and there's a slight divergence here where we saw a higher high and momentum did not follow through. So this might be the impetus for that pullback back to about 50 cents, maybe a little bit less. But ultimately, I think this is going to break 60 in the not too distant future. When it does, the move will be powerful. The first target would be close to 80 cents around the 200 weekly EMA, and likely much higher thereafter. Looking at Encore Energy, this is one of those names where if you have a Canadian account, or you can, this is one that you can put away, and if the uranium sector does as we expect it to, this is going to have tremendous upside. Notice it moved all the way to 8 cents last week, and finally pulled back, or a couple weeks ago, but it pulled back, and now it's a good opportunity as it retests the 50 from the upside. That's a very positive development. It's right around the 50 EMA. The middle Bollinger Band is curling up. This is a very good time to enter this particular position if with a very high quality risk reward setup where you buy it at these prices with a stop loss below, I'd say 4.8 thereabout, and I think ultimately we see 10 cents not too distant future, ultimately 15, and once this price point breaks out, there's a lot of area to run. Energy Fuels, quadruple U. This one as well, major downtrend. We broke out of this one, and now we've consolidated. Once we tag the $2 mark, which is our first price target, now you want to see this trend line hold from the upside. We think it will, and then ultimately it breaks higher with the second price target of 3, ultimately followed by 5. Fission Uranium, FCUUF, another one of those names that's been consolidating since 2015. It looks like it's starting to break out. Now, momentum here is stronger than a lot of these other names that we've pointed out, like Denison and Cameco. Why do I say that? Well, because momentum here is broken out above the 60. You notice here we stalled, we pulled back to the 50, and now we broke out. That's very positive development. This is one of the stronger names, and you want to see take out 70 as a confirmation that the next leg higher has begun. But look at the volume. This is a very big indicator that this one wants to move much higher. If it can break out of the 70 mark, this is going to go into above $1 in the not too distant future. We will be going long likely very soon. Now this one, GAVX Uranium, when we pointed out here, we had some very strong pattern candles here over the last couple of weeks, and now we've kind of pulled back here, no surprise, right at the 32.5 level, which we kind of marked out in previous videos, and now we pulled back, and we might have a little bit more downside to go, possibly as low as the middle Bollinger Band and the 50 weekly moving average, but ultimately if 50 RSI can hold on the weekly, this is going to go higher, and ultimately we think we'll see 45 cents in the not too distant future. We like this chart, we like the setup, and there's a lot of upside on GAVX. Mega Uranium, one we currently own, we like this one here. It's just, this is a shell company for the stock that we'll show in a moment, which is Next Gen Energy, but ultimately this is broken out to the upside. There's positive momentum here versus last time around when we were at the same price. So there's positive divergence, and while there's some consolidation here, some profit taking, ultimately we think this hits 25 in the not too distant future, and much upside ahead for Mega Uranium. Now Next Gen, which is the company aforementioned, this has been basing basically in all of 2017, and ultimately you want to see a breakout of above $3 to confirm the next leg higher has begun. But there's tremendous upside. This is probably the best name from a fundamental basis in the sector. Look at the massive volume over the last couple of months. This is some very serious accumulation happening here, and so whoever's buying knows the upside potential here, and you definitely want to be long this name. Sky Harbor Resources, SYHBF, another one that's had very nice run since 2016. It's consolidated here for basically all of 2017. Looks poised to break out above 40 cents. If it does, the next logical target is 55 cents. It's being led by momentum. We really like this. When momentum leads price, that's a very positive bullish development, and this is one that you definitely want to have on your watch list, if not already in your portfolio. UR Energy, URG, another one that's shown positive momentum here on the RSI here, and so we finally tagged the 200 EMA of 72. No surprise that we're kind of pulling back a little bit. It's possible we go as low as 60 cents to tag that 50 EMA at 61, but ultimately this thing is headed towards 90 cents and likely much higher when this when this resistance finally breaks. Uranium Energy Corp, one of the better managed companies in the sector. This one is based in the US, and that's a very positive development in terms of fundamentals. You want stable jurisdictions and very good management teams. This one has them both. And so bottom line is this one had a very beautiful move since 96 cents in October. Tagged $2, which was our price target. Now we're consolidating. So long as we're above 160, we like the energy and the momentum this particular name has. Look, this is being led by momentum. That's very positive. We're firmly above that 60 to 61 level on the RSI, and we think this is going to break $2 in the not distant future. When that happens, the next price point is $3. So there's a lot of upside ahead for UEC. We like this name, one of our favorites in the sector. Now, Western Uranium Corp, WSTRF. This one is a name, don't know much about the fundamentals, but the chart is kind of breaking down. It's below the middle Bollinger Band, and so we don't like this name. You can find better opportunities. And one that we bought last week, we had some very nice price action in WWR, Westwater Resources. It's still below this 125 mark, which you want to see a break to the upside, but we're seeing a lot of signs that this is going to have a very strong move, probably towards a 250 to 5 zone in the next couple of months. And so we like the risk reward here. Well, why do we say that? Well, because we broke above that 38 to 40 level. Now we're consolidating here. We're still below the middle Bollinger Band, which is not necessarily a positive development. But notice the momentum on the MACDs. It looks like it's getting set to cross above zero in the next week or two. Stochastics are building positive momentum, and so once this does break above the middle Bollinger Band and that 125 level, expect a very, very strong run. The first price target is around 140 to 150, possibly tags the weekly EMA at 156. So this one has tremendous amount of volatility, so you have to know your personality type and trading style. But ultimately, if uranium does go the way we expect it to, this particular name probably has the most percentage upside in the future. This is also a lithium play, so that sector has been hot. They just bought a graphite name, and so if you're into alternative energy, this one has a lot of opportunity. So anyway, guys, we like the sector. We think that uranium is in the midst, probably in the first or second inning of a major multi-year run. The fundamentals are behind it, and if you're a contrarian and a value investor, this is a sector to be in, and the technicals suggest that now is the time to get in. So good luck, and look forward to your feedback. Take care.